This is Rick Rule for the Vancouver Natural Resources Investment Symposium, the virtual edition 2021. I'm delighted today to welcome Trey from Eli Royalties, which has been certainly one of the best market performers among our exhibitors in recent years. It's absolutely delightful to me when management teams make us look smart occasionally, despite all odds. Trey, thank you for your success on behalf of shareholders. Thank you also for your continued support of the Vancouver Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Well, thanks for having me today, Rick. And I always like getting in touch with the shareholders that are part of the symposium.
Let's get a brief overview of the affairs of Eli Royalty. What is it that you set out to do? What have you accomplished? What has been your focus?
Well, we started out, changed our business model at Ely Gold in 2016 and moved. We had been a more traditional exploration and development company and moved to the royalty space when we thought this was a better business model and that it tended to generate cash rather than suck up cash. We started really with nothing. We purchased Jerry Bachman's portfolio of properties, and Jerry came on board. Jerry's a long-term prospector in Nevada. We started with a handful of properties only, and a business model to stake and acquire properties, sell them, and retain royalties. And we executed that model for about 2 years, 2.5 years, and then we were generating enough cash that we also went out and started buying royalties from third parties. So today we have still a heavy emphasis and focus in Nevada. We have picked up several properties also in Canada, but that is the extent of our jurisdiction, something we're very proud and happy with. And today we have interest in over 100 properties, and those would be about half royalties and half properties that we have acquired and sold and are in the exploration phase with others. But all of our key assets are assets that we've purchased, and we have producing royalties today on some of Nevada's largest gold mines, and we're pretty excited about the prospects for the future.
Well, let's drop down, if we can, and talk about what you think are some of your more significant assets, the sort of bedrocks of the company that investors need to know about if they're going to go forward with you.
Well, in Nevada, we're very excited about our Ren property. This is a royalty we picked up last year in a merger transaction with a small private company. Ren is the extension of the Goldstrike mine, which is the largest producing mine. It's produced almost 50 million ounces in Nevada. It's been traditionally operated by Barrick, is now part of the Barrick-Newmont joint venture called Nevada Gold Mines. This is the underground extension, the Ren. It's a property that Barrick has held solely since about 2010. When Centerra was in a joint venture with them, Centerra outlined a couple million ounces there. Barrick is now in there. They have drifted into the property above that ore body. And if people, when you look at the map of how prolific, I mean, the underground at Ren has produced over 15 million ounces, and this is clearly the extension. We think the property has a lot more potential than just the 2 million ounces. And it's just amazing to see a company like Barrick, when they deploy their resources for exploration. We had heard about 12 months ago that they were planning to drift into the property, and Jerry made a site visit earlier this year, and they had a 12-foot drift for both exploration and a production drift over a mile into the property. So very excited about Ren. In that transaction, we also picked up a royalty on Marigold, operated by SSR Mining. and that should be starting into production on our claims this year. We also have a royalty on the Jarrett Canyon mine that was recently acquired for around $500 million by First Majestic. And while we're very happy with that royalty now, it produces somewhere in the area of, we have actually 2 royalties on that mine, and it produces somewhere around $2 million a year for us. But it's only operating at half capacity, and we think First Majestic did not pay $500 million for this operation to keep it operating at 50% of capacity. So we think some very exciting prospect there. And then probably the last of our key assets I would mention here is one of our Canadian assets. That's the Fenelon mine of Wallbridge Mining, which has been a real darling in that space in Quebec. They should be coming out with a resource this year, and we expect that looks, according to the analysts now, we expect that will be a multi-million ounce resource when they announce the first resource there.
Trey, I'm struck in this conversation by the fact that Nevada is the gift that keeps on giving. I remember the old Cordex syndicate, who originated Marigold and originated Ren, wonderful names that have produced wealth for 30 years. Which gives rise to the next question. You aren't alone in being attracted to the royalty space. There are probably 30 junior royalty companies or pretenders. And you aren't alone in recognizing the attractions of both the Abitibi Belt in northern Canada and the Basin and Range in the United States. How is it that you have managed to outcompete others for these assets? And what sort of durable competitive advantage do you see in these highly competitive jurisdictions? How have you succeeded in the past? How do you intend to succeed in the future?
Well, one thing is that we do have outstanding relationships throughout Nevada. I mean, if you look at the royalties we've been able to purchase, they have all been from individuals, say for the most part in Nevada, where those are relationships that either Jerry had with the longtime prospectors that owned the royalties, or one of our directors, Bill Sheriff, another longtime prospector. So some in Nevada and of course around the world for Bill. But it is relationships, I think, would be the first thing. The second key is, Rick, we also have this generation program where we're out prospecting ourselves these days. So we're constantly turning over rocks, picking up properties, staking properties, which we then option out to third parties who go and explore those. So, that generation program, probably we've had some great success there with the likes of Contact Gold on our Green Springs project, and very excited about a company, BlackRock Silver, that has taken over, is purchasing our Tonopah project. That's a project that we consolidated the claim package there over the last few years. They have been hitting some outstanding results. So between the relationships and the generation program, it gives us a distinct advantage. But having said that, the junior royalty space especially has gotten much more competitive. And, for our shareholders, I think looking at the future, while we still expect to see more opportunities show up through our relationships, we also think there's going to be room and opportunities for consolidation of some of these new smaller royalty companies, that as they realize there's just not enough deals to go around.
Trey, I'm delighted with both of those answers. The idea that you have a competitive advantage because you add value by recognizing value, by consolidating districts, by staking, and you have a competitive advantage too in the context of your personal relationships. I think it's fair to say that Ely is not a Me Too royalty company, but really somebody who is an established member of the Nevada community in the first instance, and secondly, adds value. I'm delighted too with your focus on consolidation. Larger asset bases are more liquid, and you reduce general and administrative expense relative to assets under management. So congratulations there, and certainly best of luck. You have also, I think, been successful, Trey, inordinately successful in causing a shareholder constituency to support your market. I don't want you to give away any trade secrets, but tell us something about your success in developing a shareholder constituency, because I think cost of capital is a definable advantage, and I think that you've mastered that.
Well, we have focused from the very beginning on a much more retail audience, and while we do have our largest shareholders is Eric Sprott, and we have benefited from Eric's participating in financings, also provided us with a line of credit. He sold us one of our Jarrett Canyon royalties. So we are known as Eric Sprott's royalty company, and we're fine with that moniker, if you will. But it's really a lot of work. It's doing the conferences like this, your conference, which is focused around the more individual and retail investor. As you know, with your operations there in Carlsbad and stuff, we're kind of seeing a renaissance of the retail investor coming into the market, and gold and mining is something that everybody sees that shiny object and is attracted to. But it's really, there's no secret to it, Rick. It's just a lot of work. As you know, I mean, it's doing a lot of shows, and we have our own platform with a group, so that we do town hall meetings about every 6 weeks, keep our shareholders involved, and especially in this pandemic-driven time, we really worked hard to stay in touch with the shareholders.
Well, I'm struck by your shareholder constituency. I've obviously benefited over 30 years with my own relationship with Eric Sprott. So I think that's a great off-balance sheet asset, much like the depth of your relationship with the Nevada community in terms of generating new product. I'm struck too and impressed by the level of joint venture partners that you have. We interviewed Keith Neumeyer very recently from First Majestic, and I would suggest that your suspicion as to the capital investments that Jarrett Canyon will see as a consequence of First Majestic moving in there will surprise and delight both you and I, neither of whom surprise or delight particularly easily. And I'm delighted too about the Wren project and Barrick. Is there anything buried deeper in the portfolio that you think could generate some positive surprises for us in the next year?
Well, yeah, we have the Lincoln Hill project, where we have a 2% NSR. That's with Coeur Mining at their most profitable operation, the Rochester mine, which is seeing a large expansion of a 300 million ton leach pad they're working on now. And so we expect that they will be mining over the next few years as that leach pad is constructed, that Lincoln Hill ore. It's very attractive for them because the ore at Lincoln Hill is about 5 times, same silver grade as Rochester, but about 5 times the gold grade. So I think we'll see action there. And then as you drill down into our portfolio, Fiore Gold is developing the Gold Rock project. That one's going to be coming on stream over the next couple of years. The Gold Standard Ventures moving forward with the railroad project. We very excited about what's going on in Nevada, and as you say, it's the gift that keeps on giving, and we maintain our focus in that jurisdiction. It's another thing that I'd be remiss if we didn't touch on here as we end this interview, is that Nevada is still, the most outstanding jurisdiction in the world. And although, in this environment where every country and every jurisdiction is working to increase taxes and royalties, and in some cases even nationalized properties, being in a safe jurisdiction like Nevada and Quebec is just very, very important going forward.
Trey, finally, how do our attendees learn more? How do they find you? How do they talk to you? How do they learn more about Elite Royalty?
Well, I would encourage everybody to go to our website, www.elitegoldinc.com, and you can find a lot of more information there. But I encourage everybody to sign up for our email list, because we are doing on a regular basis these town hall meetings where we catch up with shareholders, have excellent Q&A sessions on those, and you know, I am also, you know, very accessible as a CEO. I love talking to shareholders. So, you know, the truth is my phone number's on every press release. So, not very often that a shareholder calls me that I, you know, am not either picking up their call or returning it right away and chatting with them about what's going on at the company.
That's a great answer. Trey, thank you for treating your shareholders so well over the last few years. Thank you for your ongoing success, and thank you in particular today for your continued support of the Vancouver Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Well, again, take the opportunity to thank you, Rick, for you know, for putting on these great symposiums. Your whole team, Albert, Callie, the entire group, and we miss you guys on doing these things, you know, in person, and hope that we're going to be able to get back to there. Of course, I'm down in Texas, and we're wide open here, so. Maybe we'll have to move that symposium to Dallas. But again, thank you very much, and thanks for your support. You, of course, a longtime shareholder with your funds, and really one of the first institutions to get into and support us. So we thank you as well.